Viewers, big breaking news coming in at this point of time, viewers. Information coming in from Uzbekistan where PM Xi Jinping handshake has happened. Big moment there. No picture of that yet so far, viewers. But the Modi-Xi handshake has happened in Uzbekistan. And what we can also tell you is that this is the first Modi-Xi handshake there since Galwan. So this is very significant, viewers, where we can get you some more details on this story as it comes. We're getting you more details. What we can tell you is that the PM Xi Jinping handshake has happened, and this is happening just after the Chinese president had congratulated India on assuming the presidency of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization for 2023. And he had said we will support India for its presidency next year. So this is a big statement which had come from President Xi. And what we can tell you so far is that the Modi-Xi Jinping handshake has happened. Now, we do not have a picture of that moment as of now, viewers. But we can tell you that this is a very big moment, because this is the first time that both the leaders have shook hands since Galwan. So this is making it a very significant moment. And this is what we're getting for you on Republic TV. Big breaking news coming in that the leaders of both the nations have shook hands on the sidelines of SCO summit. Big news coming in at this point of time. All right, Srilam Cholia is joining us on the phone line. Thank you for joining us here. This is a big moment coming in, and we have, in fact, were waiting that these two leaders would be meeting on the sidelines of the SCO summit, and it seems like it has happened. We don't have a picture of this yet, but could you please explain to us that why this is a very significant move which has happened at the SCO summit?
Well, first of all, it's not a sit-down, it's a handshake, and there was a lot of speculation whether they will actually have a sit-down and a proper bilateral meeting. It's interesting that Prime Minister has met the Russian president and the host president of Uzbekistan, but not the Chinese president. And I think we are clearly signaling that things cannot be absolutely normal between us until and unless the Chinese restore the status quo ante of April 2020 as far as the Aksai-Chin Eastern Ladakh border goes. So we have pushed them back from 3 points now, but there's still one more outstanding one, which is Lepsang. And I think Prime Minister is very clear that we will not compromise on these issues and we are not going to yield 1 inch. So I think the Chinese wanted us to have so-called move on or move forward without this being settled, but we have been very firm. And probably the Chinese were looking for a bilateral sit-down, and we have not really committed, or at least not announced it in advance, just so that the Chinese know that there is outstanding business and it cannot be things as usual. But nonetheless, the Chinese model is based on top-down decision-making on national security and foreign policy. So if Xi Jinping if he even makes a gesture to his commanders and to the PLA to step back and to accommodate, then it can happen. So we must not give up the idea of pushing them back militarily is one, but we must not give up the idea of also telling the top leader straight, point blank, that we are not happy with the state of affairs, with the way they have been disregarding our national security and our territorial integrity. So I think Prime Minister, whenever he has met Xi Jinping, even in the past, of course, this is after a long gap, but even in the past, he has been very point blank and has told you have to respect our sensitivities. You have to respect our sensibilities. And if you don't do that, then you cannot expect normal relations. So I think a bit of the coldness that we have seen, despite this handshake during this summit, or, we're tiptoeing around or not avoiding him, is because to convey a signal that they cannot move forward without respecting our dignity and our interests. I think that's a bigger message they are getting. The Chinese thought that with time we will become accommodated and we will soften up. But we have not done that. I think our position is very firm on this. As far as the Xi Jinping welcoming India's presidency for SCO goes, that's a broader multilateral thing. It's not about the bilateral relationship. And, the Chinese and the Russians are the main forces behind the SCO. So they would like, other members to come in and to shoulder responsibilities to show that this organization is growing.